Welcome to Mow for Show. We're going to talk about greens mowers most of the time, pretty much all the time, honestly. I've been redoing greens mowers for about a couple of years now, and today let's talk about backlapping. All right, it's a very controversial subject, honestly, but if you're using a real mower for your home, if you're not a golf course, then you're going to need to know how to backlap, and you're going to need to know how to do it correctly, and you're going to need to know how to adjust your reel to bed knife. And some people hate backlapping, and those are the professionals, the guys that work at golf courses. They don't like backlap. I get it. You have $100,000 in equipment. I understand you don't backlap your stuff because you don't need to. Well, if you're a guy in your garage and you don't have $100,000 in equipment, you're gonna have to backlap every once in a while. I mean, it's how you maintain an edge. It's always recommended to go get a grind, especially if you're using a greens mower. Find somebody in your area, get on Facebook, get on the Facebook groups, find somebody in your area that can do it and go get it done. That's the recommendation. If you want to try to backlap, you can. It's a it's not really an art form, but I say it's kind of an art form. I'm not saying that I'm the first guy to ever do it my way, but I do it a certain way, and it's kind of the opposite of what you might think to get them sharp. I've had great success. I mean, we're talking over 20 mowers that are cutting paper when they leave. Now, are all the correct angles on the reel and the bed knife? Probably not. I put a brand new bed knife on, and then I can backlap them. Sometimes it don't take very long at all, and they're cutting paper. If you're just a homeowner and it's cutting paper, you're good to go. Listen, that's all it needs to do is cut your grass. You're not cutting a putting green. Now, if you are cutting a putting green or if you work on a golf course, then no, you can't just be backlapping all the time. All right. But if it's cutting paper and it's cutting your grass, bro, I mean, we're not cutting down to an eighth of an inch on our lawns. No, if you have the money and you have the ability to take your reel to get a grind, once or even twice a year, by all means, that's going to be the best way to do it. But as long as it's cutting paper and you can maintain that sharpness with backlapping, then by all means, you're a homeowner. You know what I mean? Just don't worry what everybody else says. Uh, yes, grinding is going to be the best option, but it can be done. I have a GM 1600, a Toro GM 1600. I bought it a couple years ago. I backlapped it when I got it and never had a freaking problem with it. So I don't know what the problem is, but yes, you should get a relief grind. Yes, you're probably taking away some of the angles because there's 5-degree angles and there's certain degrees of the reel and the bed knife, blah, 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 blah. I understand. I get it. Totally understand. But as a homeowner, just if you can backlap it out, that's fine. You don't get crazy because you don't want to like backlap your whole reel off of there and like lose all the life on your reel. And some people will say that, oh, it's going to go dull in a month. Well, I haven't had that problem, so I don't know what the problem is. Every mower is going to be different, though. I'm talking about greens mowers. Okay, if you're using a McLean or a Swordman or a True Cut, that's a totally different animal. Rolex, don't even get me started. Revolution, don't get me started. I'm not going to talk about those in this video, but I'm talking about greens mowers. All right, I just put a brand new 11 blade reel on my mower, and I put a brand new bed knife on there, and I backlapped them for just a couple minutes, and they cut perfect. So I'm not going to go get it ground. I don't need to. Now, if I put those on there and it wouldn't cut, like it was horrible, I go get it ground. Sure. I'm not going to just backlap it for like 40 minutes, and just ruin the reel and the knife, just wear all of it out. I'm not going to, I would go get it ground. But if you're having to backlap a lot, like multiple times a year, because it's not cutting, go get your reel ground by a professional. First of all, they're going to look at your mower and tell you whether there's anything wrong with it. There may be something wrong with your mower that you don't even know exists. So Rolex, Revolution, McLean, greens mower, doesn't matter. You may need new bearings. There could be something out of line, and you don't know that because you don't really know much about the mowers. If you're having to do that multiple times, take it into somewhere, get it ground, the reel and the bed knife. If you can, put a relief grind on it. Pay the money to get the relief grind put on there. You may not know what that is. That's fine, but you need one, especially if you're backlapping. It helps a lot if you're backlapping. If you don't have a relief grind on your reel when you're backlapping, it's going to have a spin grind on it. And the surface area of the reel is larger because the relief is a totally separate angle that gets cut. And it cuts the surface area of the edge of your reel down. It makes it smaller. All right. So go get it ground. But this video is about backlapping, and trust me, it can be done. Every time I put a new bed knife on a mower, typically they don't cut in the middle, and they'll cut on the outsides, or they'll cut all the way down and then it won't cut on the very end. And I have a specific way of tackling that. Is it 100% correct? No, but it can be done. All right, I'm just letting you know that it can be done. But if it's taking you too long to get where you want to be, stop. Don't be using 80 grit backlapping compound the whole time. I mean, that's very aggressive. Only use 80 if you have a problem. If you're taking out a nick or a burr, or you hit something, or it's just really way off cutting, then you use 80, but don't use it forever. Don't only use 80. Okay, there's 80, there's 120, there's 180, there's 220. I mean, I've heard the backlapping compounds go up to like 600, like a Baroness or a Baroness reel mower. They recommend, some crazy stuff because their reels are super hardened, like a samurai sword, and they last a lot longer. But don't let anybody tell you that you can't backlap. There's people on Facebook right now that will scold you for backlapping. I mean, it's ridiculous. Okay, we're homeowners, bro. Okay, we don't have the equipment. Maybe we don't live near somebody that has the equipment. Maybe we don't know where to go. It could be just as simple as that. But we don't have I don't even have a truck, right? I'm doing everything without a truck. I can't just haul mowers around in the back of my car. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I'm just saying, you can do it. Don't worry about what anybody says. Don't overdo it, but you can do it. Try it out. If you're going to reel mow your yard, you're going to need to know how to backlap. Even if you go get your reel ground by a professional and they put a relief grind on it and it's perfect, there's going to come a time that you're going to need to backlap, and you're going to need to adjust your reel to bed knife during the course of the year. You're pushing grass and pushing dirt and pushing sand and pushing stuff in between the reel and the bed knife as you cut every single day. You're going to create space. It could create uneven wear, and you're going to have to back up. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's probably not going to cut perfect all year long. It really just depends on how much you're scalping also. But don't worry about it. Now there are some things to look for when you are backlapping. You don't want to be tightening one side of the reel too much. You can actually cone your reel, which one side of your reel diameter will be larger than the other, especially on a McLean, because you adjust the reel to the bed knife on a McLean, and you adjust the bed knife to the reel on most other mowers, especially a greens mower. And on a greens mower, like a Toro, you're going to have adjustments for your bed knife to reel adjustment that are like 0.00. I mean, it's like minute. On a McLean, you literally have to whack the the adjustment arm to get it down. I mean, obviously you can't fine tune that. It's completely ridiculous on an older McLean. There are some McLeans that have the spin tops, but don't over adjust one side too much. You're going to end up coning your reel. If you can tell that your reel is coned on a McLean, the sides of the mower, you're going to have to loosen bolts, and the bolts go up and down inside a groove. And if one side looks like it's way lower than the other one, you could have a pretty big cone going in your reel. Go get it taken. Find somebody that can grind it for you and fix that if possible, and do that. But The bottom line is I backlap, you know, pretty much everybody else backlaps, and the people that are going to tell you not to do it are probably the people that make money doing it. Okay, they're going to make money grinding, and they work at a golf course or they own the equipment, and they're going to not want you to backlap. But like I said, you can do it, but if it's taking you too long or it's just way out of whack, then just take it to somebody and have it ground. All right. Now I'll do another video. I've done one video before about backlapping, and I'll tell you my I'm gonna say technique. I mean, I'll tell you my technique in the way that I do it. I won't do it in this video, but I'll let you know what I do and why I do it, and it's just kind of common sense to me. Is it the right way to do it? I mean, you shouldn't be backlapping, like I said, a whole lot. But if your reel is pretty close and you have had it ground before, if you just get a reel and it's not, go get it ground. Because once you get your reel ground and your mower is it's all squared away, then you can just maintain with backlapping. And if you're doing that correctly, you shouldn't have to do it very much. And so get it ground first. I wouldn't try to just backlap to be backlapping. Like if you go buy a new reel and it's not cutting, backlap for just like a couple minutes. And if you can't get it, go get it ground somewhere. And after you do that, you'll be able to maintain it for a while. Just using like 120 grit. If that's a greens mower. Now, if it's not a greens mower, you're gonna have a totally separate issue. Greens mowers are tight. They're precision cutting machines. Rolex, Revolution, McLean, True Cut, all those they're not greens mowers. Okay, a greens mower is $20,000-$30,000 brand new, and those are like a couple grand. There's a reason for that. All right, but go get it ground, and then just maintain it after that. I've been talking way too long. You're probably not even watching this video anymore. That's fine, whatever. But I'll make another video telling you how I do it. And like I said, I've already done one. I'm getting ready to do one right now on a Flex 21. And it kind of sucks making videos, honestly, because it just takes time, whatever. But thanks for watching, if you are still watching. And we'll see what I have to come up with next. Thanks.